All right, boys, welcome back to another episode of the On Tap Podcast. Today we have a wonderful edition of the Blue Collar Happy Hour. We got a couple of plumbers in here. We actually haven't seen their cracks yet, but we assume, and we're going to take their word for it, that they are really plumbers. You got me, Cody, Sam, and our two plumbers in the building, Mr. Reid and T-Cav.
Yes, sir.
Regular. Welcome, boys. So you're both plumbers. Is there different, categorization of plumbers? Is there you have to start at a rookie and work your way up to a veteran? What's the steps?
Well, there's obviously a apprenticeship and a journeyman and then a master. There's three main steps to it, but there are drain cleaners. So they'll work for a plumbing company.
They're not plumbers.
Yeah,
Sure.
They're not plumbers. They're drain cleaners. They're not plumbers.
So plumbers know their place though.
Correct.
I ain't no fucking drain cleaner.
Yeah.
Did they call themselves plumbers, the drain cleaners?
I don't know. Do they?
If someone were to ask,
they
do they
don't.
say I'm
They-
a drain cleaner?
Which I can't imagine.
That's people give a lot of flack to doctors when they say oh yeah, I'm a doctor, and they're like, dude, you're a chiropractor.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or you're a dentist.
It's kind or how I know Mitch would know better than me, but they talk about linemen and there's the low wire linemen, the low
Low voltage,
or it's internet lines,
Oh,
but
okay.
they call themselves linemen, but they're not actually linemen.
I've heard him rant about that.
Yeah, it's same sort of concept.
One thing that I love about this episode today is, first of all, these are two of my bros, so it's always a pleasure to get to sit next to the homies here. But we actually have an apprentice, and we have his fucking master, the leader, the man in charge here too. I can't imagine the dynamic. We have two bros that see each other every day. You get to teach Tyler
Every
your
damn day.
trade
Every day.
and I love that for you guys. The chemistry between you is best friend chemistry. You can tell you talk every day.
Yeah, it's definitely me and Rita both said to each other, they switch, a lot of plumbing companies will switch workers out. You'll have a journeyman or a master, then an apprentice with them, and they'll switch workers out. You'll have an apprentice for a month, and they'll switch a different apprentice with, the journeyman or whatever.
Sure.
And me and Reed have been together for about 8 months now, and we've definitely came to the conclusion when we get separated, we're going to be very, very bored at work.
Have you guys had your first fight yet?
No, I don't
You've been
think
together
so.
for 8 months?
I wouldn't say fight.
No.
Just the way we do things, I would say.
Yeah.
Little different
get a
order
little
of
passive
operation.
aggressive.
I guess the
Nothing
first
like a fight, though.
No, I guess the first month is
We're both too understanding, I think.
yeah, the first month of working with anyone, regardless of what trade you are, who the apprentice is, you kind of have to figure out each other's role.
Sure.
Yeah.
So any job, if you're teaching someone anything, you kind of have to, figure out what each other's good at.
Yeah.
And
The fights don't come till after the year mark, probably.
Yeah, you're still in the honeymoon phase.
Yeah, I guess.
So in every single trade, there's been a little peak of AI and a little bit of technology that's crept into all these different fields. Is there any AI or any technology that's creeping into the plumbing space that would lead you to believe that a robot is going to be able to replace your job?
I don't think that's possible.
No, I don't think so.
But as far as AI goes, there's this app
We pull the mic up to your face.
or technology that we are kind of getting into. It's called Zilla,
Okay.
and they record everything that you say to a customer.
Oh, interesting. It's like a body cam for a plumber.
Yep, it is. And
Did they record video or just audio right
Just
now?
audio.
I think it's just audio.
Damn, I
And
feel like video's not far off if they're recording your conversations.
Well, it's for a sales tactic.
sales tactic.
Correct.
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
We know some plumbers and with different companies that they record video, audio in the van.
Seriously?
So you're watched 24/7.
Yeah, and I suppose they're tracking where you're at, how long you're there, to
Mhm.
see also your efficiency numbers.
Correct.
Yeah.
But the Zilla thing is more, so when you go into a home and you introduce yourself and talk to a customer, it records every word you say and every word they say. And when you're done at that call, it will tell you, don't say this word. You use this word where you should use this word.
This is all automatic?
correct.
It's all
Damn.
AI correcting your
yeah.
speech.
It will
It's all
also-
for sales.
It will also
God.
paraphrase
Like you spent too long explaining this thing.
Yep.
You should have just said this.
Correct.
In the
Yeah.
job notes, it'll paraphrase for you what this tech did, what he said, what he offered,
Wow.
how it
Yeah.
went.
Wow.
AI is getting fucking freaky, dude.
Yeah, and luckily the company we work for, they offer it, but you don't have to have it. So some
Sure.
companies require it. Some companies have a recording on you as you're driving the van, audio and video, and when you go into the home, you're recorded as well. So the whole day you're at work, every single thing you do is recorded. So thankfully the company we work for don't enforce that. But if you want to become a better salesman and you want to use that Zilla or whatever, you can, but they're not going to force
Sure.
it on
They
you.
treat it as a self-improvement thing,
Correct.
not you're forced to do it for the company.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So wow, that's insane. Okay. So how much of would you say the plumbing industry is selling new products and actually fixing water stuff?
Water stuff. I like it.
You know, like I'm just trying to be as broad as I can, I guess.
I mean,
So
yeah, go ahead.
say it again.
Like
How much of it is sales and how much of it is actually doing the
Plumbing.
work?
In service work, which is what the company we work at is mostly service and remodels, residential. So the company we work at is, I would say, 60% is sales, and 40% is doing the work and getting it done.
Wow. That's
But-
actually crazy. That's way
but in
less
the-
than I would have
In
thought.
the plumbing world, there's hotels being brought.
Hotels being built, factories being made to where that's like commercial.
Yeah.
So
Commercial, no sales because
Yeah.
they already got their contracts.
Yeah,
Which I
That's
don't know
more of like
anything
the
about.
union plumber, I
correct.
assume.
Yeah. It's like you're just there to do your job, you're 9 to 5 and head up. You don't have to talk to anyone, you can have your headphones in all day, whatever. But if you're a service plumber, you're talking to people all the time, and you can be the best plumber in the world, but if you're not a good talker,
Yeah. Well, because it's more customer facing. Like you have
Correct.
to deal with the person. You
Right.
can't just go into their house and fix their
Yep.
stuff.
It's
Exactly.
relationships versus transactional.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah. Wow. That's crazy. Actually, I guess I just assumed that it was just so cut and dry. Like, yep, this is the problem. Bring you right to the problem. You fix the problem. You're out of there. But
And that's
obviously, the business isn't made on service calls. It's made on selling them new stuff.
right.
Like
Exactly.
I would
And
imagine that's where
The
the
first
real
thing you
money
said,
is.
bring me to the problem. That's my mindset.
Yeah.
Bring
Yeah,
me to the
that's-
problem. Show me that's wrong. If I see something super major, I'll bring it up. If you don't want to do it, great. But I'm not here to sell you nothing if you don't want it.
Right.
I'm
right.
here to fix the problem.
Okay, so I mean, let's get right into some stereotypes of plumbing here. Obviously, the main one that comes to mind, plumber's crack. Is there any sort of like shielding that the company provides you so that when you're in someone's home and you're bent over at a faucet, you're bent over at a toilet, you're in a shower drain, you're not showing crack?
tucked in shirt.
I think that comes down to the man that's servicing you. Honestly,
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, everyone can tell if you got crack.
I've personally
You could-
never
if
been
you're
serviced by a
I
man,
got
but
some
Sam
crack.
might know.
I got some
if
crack.
You ever bent down?
It comes up my back a long ways, dude.
You get a little bit of wind.
He's got
you
that
know,
long
you
crack on.
adjust. So where we work, we have uniforms we got to wear. We got to tuck in.
Do they purposely make the pants sit up higher on your waist?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, they sit up a little higher.
Do they
that's for
really?
sure. Yeah.
So they're trying to mitigate the stereotype. It's good to see that there's, improvement.
Well,
being
actually,
made.
so the company we work for, since me and Reid are installers, we can get by with a little more. So typically, if you are a salesman, they want your pants to be pressed. Like they want the crease down your thigh,
dang.
crease down your calf, and shirt tucked in, no stains on your white shirt. And if you walk into the shop in the morning before you go do your calls and you have a caulking stain on your pants or something, you will get yelled at. But me and Reid can get away with a little more since we're not the salesman typically. We're the installers. So if the salesman sells something, we go install it. We have to deal with the customers a little less than they do. So if we're dirty, they still yell at us. But we can use the excuse as, we're the one doing it. We're going to get dirty.
Are the
And
salesmen's plumbers themselves as well? Are they going to
They
look
think
at
they
a
are.
problem?
Barely.
Barely. Yeah.
If someone calls and say like, "Hey, my faucet's super leaky," would a salesman go out there?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the difference is if Reid and I have nothing to do in a day, and a salesman has nothing to do in a day, and someone calls and says their water heater is leaking, they're going to send the salesman there before us
Because that's probably more profitable.
because they're more of a yapper, they're more of a seller. So
they're going to try to get more product.
correct.
A new
Absolutely.
faucet altogether
Yeah.
rather than put the Band-Aid on it.
Yeah. To
Oh,
where
they go there for a faucet. They're trying to build a $20,000 ticket.
yeah, they're not going there for the
crazy.
faucet.
Whether it's
That's
right or
crazy.
wrong,
Yeah.
Dude,
I don't know.
I
but
dread making calls to plumbers when anything happens at my house because I know that if it's enough where I'm calling someone, I for sure can't do it.
Yep.
And if I'm calling someone officially, no one I know can also do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And to be honest with you, I realize why they pay good money because I had a super old house. It was built in like early 1900s when I was in college, and I had to redo the plumbing underneath on the second level, like in the basement, and like get the little copper cutter out. It was all copper and like solder in
Oh,
a
they
piece,
sweat it. Yeah.
but like it would
Did you sweat it?
blow. I don't even know what that means. I probably
Solder.
did it wrong. Oh yeah. So
Yeah.
I soldered
You
it
did it
together.
good?
No, because then it started breaking solder joints all over the whole basement because it like
Ooh.
heated up everything. I'm like heating up one part and it
Yeah.
blows
you
lines
got it too
all
hot.
over.
Yeah.
Dude, so
Yeah.
you're just kind of like freaking out, like, what the fuck have I done?
Oh yeah, and I definitely I'm sure this isn't what you're supposed to do, but I'm like connecting PVC with copper and I'm
Oh,
like
you can do that a
different
little bit.
materials. Okay,
Yeah.
someone had told me
Yeah.
like you're not supposed to connect different materials. You got to replace everything. I'm like absolutely not. I'm not replacing everything.
Well, if you
I
wanted
made
to
it work
replace
and
everything-
sold
Well,
the
if you
house.
had that salesman come to your house, he would say, "Listen, man, this is gonna be 30 grand.
Yep.
You got to get everything done here."
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, and that was probably the right way to do it.
That's the difference between those salesmen and Reid and I. Is Reid and I are more of a problem solver. Like if someone's toilet is running and we get a service call to go check out the toilet, we go to the toilet and we want to fix the toilet because that's where their issue is. To where if a salesman gets called out there, they're going to check the toilet and they're going to check the water heater. They're going to check the water softener. They're going to check the drain lines. And they're going to try to build that ticket as big as they can.
Guess
And-
they say like, not only did I fix the issue in your toilet, but I did notice
Correct.
this.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's honestly no shame on them, I believe.
Because that's how they make their living.
That and
Are they commission based?
Correct.
they are.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
So that's why they're trying to run it up.
Yep. Exactly.
Dang. So you just got a car like a car salesman in your house fixing
Exactly.
your water line.
100%. That's exactly what
Dude,
it is.
and that scares the fuck out of me because until I had friends that were car salesmen, I didn't realize how fucked up it was. Like I lived my life so naive. I didn't realize, especially now that I'm in sales myself, like everyone's out to just make their buck, and I respect it. But you gotta watch yourself because you will get fucked if you don't.
Exactly. And that's the pressure
And
behind
if you're doing it when it's not needed or you're just trying to make a buck, that's the sole purpose. That's
Dude-
wrong, man.
Dude, I've been in those situations where, like, let's say I bid a job a little higher than I probably should have. We won it, and I feel fucking guilty. And I remember talking to my dad, like, I just feel wrong about it. He's like, fuck that.
Yeah.
They could have got more quotes.
That's-
They went for it.
That's
Fuck
how
it.
they are.
Exactly.
And that's where we differ a little bit, me and Reid versus
That's what I got
Sure.
instilled in me when I started working where we work. They-
So that's
give 'em their
one
options.
question I have for you, because growing up with you, I know your background where when you first got out of high school, you started with a small outfit out of our town, and you were working with master plumbers that have been in the industry for plus 20 years, I could assume at that point.
Yeah.
And so when you at step one, you were learning from masters that have spent more than half of their life in it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that you got more of an upper hand in that situation? Or do you think Tyler has more of an upper hand working with somebody who also has experience under their belt, but is a friend, someone he's comfortable asking these questions, even if it seems dumb?
That helps a lot.
I feel like I could have had the upper hand, but I was just so young. I at that point, I still didn't know what I wanted to do. So
So you weren't trying to
I was
absorb
still, yeah, exactly. I was doing it for a paycheck when I first started, actually here in Pine City.
it. Yeah.
And if you don't mind me saying this, I remember, so this would have been like 2017. I remember you telling me that you were getting 17 an hour and being like,
14.
Holy fuck! I can't imagine getting that. I'm getting paid like $8.25 at the Pizza Hut,
Yeah.
thinking like
I
I'd
know.
fucking kill someone for 14 right
We
now.
blowed up, didn't we?
Dude, we'd go to the casino. I'd be like, he can spend 60 on the blackjack table. I don't think I got 20 to gamble.
Yeah, no, it was different times back then.
Do you think that plumbing has made millionaires? Like, do you think there's these OGs in the industry
Absolutely.
that are just
Absolutely,
stacking
yeah.
money like
Absolutely.
crazy?
Yeah.
Can you now, as someone just getting into it now, like let's say there's an 18-year-old apprentice out there watching this, do you think that there's a realm where they can make a lot of money?
Yes.
You just stick
Go to
with
the
it.
bigger companies and do what we're doing.
Yeah, if you go to any bigger company, like a well-known company, not like a small-town company, and you prove yourself, you're going to do well. And the difference is you can be great at sales or you can be great at installing. Either way, you're going to make money because all those bigger companies have a commission base. Even for the installers, they have a commission base. So, the faster you get the job done, you get a percentage of that. So most most good plumbers or good salesmen are on the commission base, but you can be hourly if you want to. So
Oh, you get to choose.
yeah. So once you
Damn.
get out on your own, you get to choose if you want to be on hourly or if you want to be on commission. If you know you're good and you know you can get shit done quick, then it's smarter for you to go on commission, because if a job gets sold for $7,000, and I'll just make up a random number, you can get 8% on it by installing it, and you can beat that time of 4 hours. You can get it done in 2. You make 8% on that, and if you get sent home for the rest of the day, it doesn't matter. You made your 8% on that, or go
Oh,
do
damn.
another one. So salesmen and installers can both be on commission, or if an installer wants to be on hourly or a salesman be on hourly, you can do that as well.
Damn. How long, or I guess, what's like the pay gap between like an apprentice and a master?
That's a complicated question.
That is.
Is it significant?
Apprentice?
Residential, no.
I
mean,
don't know. Should we? No. It's
TCAP's like, is it? What do you make?
Well,
hourly. It is.
well, hourly,
It's
yes.
You're
significant.
about to have your first fight.
Yeah, hourly, yes. There's a big difference hourly.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
I would
But your
say,
commission is roughly the same.
like we were talking about earlier, when I first started, I was making $14 an hour. That was around this area, not in the cities. You go to the cities, you make double that approximately.
Yeah, starting out pretty much, yeah.
And as a licensed guy, meaning journeyman or master, you'd make double than what you make in the cities as an apprentice.
Okay.
Sure. So the extra, because you have to take classes, you have to pass a test to become a journeyman and master. So
Yep.
you're getting compensated for the work you've done and the experience you've
Yep.
had. It's
And-
worth progressing.
And that's how I feel percentage based or commission has kind of wrecked a lot of people, including myself.
Sure, because you don't have as much of a drive to get that $1 an hour.
Right.
wage
Correct.
up.
Yep.
Exactly. Yeah, if
And-
everyone was on hourly, everyone would want to be a journeyman.
Right.
But when everyone's on percentage, there's no really drive to become a journeyman.
Because you don't have to make
You don't
more
have
money.
to.
Yeah.
So if you never
exactly.
take the journeyman test, you can be like a 15-year apprentice.
We have
Yeah.
those.
Yeah,
Or
we have
Really?
those.
We had
Yeah.
those. Whatever. Yeah.
We have apprentices that make 6 figures that just won't take their journeyman
Dang.
test. And
Apprentices making 6 figures that are salesmen that do a damn good job at what they do, but they are still apprentices.
Yeah.
because they know if they get their journeyman, unless they're hourly, their pay really isn't going to change.
Yeah.
So
Well, okay, so if someone was dead set on from the time they start being a plumber, like I'm going to be a journeyman, how long from the time you're an apprentice till you can be a journeyman? Is it based off hours?
4 years or 7,000 hours.
Okay.
And you can only log 1,750 a year, which equals 7,000 hours. 4
Okay.
years. So 4 years.
Dang, okay.
So yeah, if you're looking at becoming a union plumber or an hourly plumber, it is 100% all day worth it to get your journeymans or your masters. It's kind of like when a nurse becomes an RN.
Yeah.
Like that's like their golden ticket. Like if you're a journeyman, you can get a job wherever you want, and you're pretty much gonna get
Because you can go anywhere.
yeah. And you can go be
Listen.
residential, you can go be commercial, and you're going to get minimum 40, 45 an hour period. It's your golden ticket. But if you're residential, commission-based, that's where if you don't want to get your journeyman, you can kind of get,
You'll
do
get
fine.
by.
And
Yeah.
I can assume that an older man in the trade is probably looking more towards the dollar an hour versus the salary. You know, you get
That's-
some years and you're not moving as quick.
That's just it.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone older in the company and other companies that I know, they prefer the dollar.
Sure.
They want
dollar
that
an hour.
consistency.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
It's a security net. You know you're going to
Totally.
be making.
Now, residential to commercial, is it like a totally different animal? Like, obviously, it's treated much differently,
Yep.
but does it almost feel like a different industry? Like, is it a different way of doing the whole entire job?
Yes. Where, at least to me, to where I'm at, I think I'm a very good plumber. But if I went to commercial, it would be a whole different ball game. There's different things you got to do.
It's way more
different-
complicated.
A lot
Same-
of code and shit. I
different
assume that you
co-
don't deal with.
Exactly.
No, we deal with code, but
But I bet it's
commercial,
different
yeah, it's
code.
way more. Yeah.
Everything is, I feel, is different.
So everything in like a residential home is pretty much going to be the same code. Like, you have a shower drain, it has to be 2-inch. Everyone knows that. It's a house. But to where you're in somewhere, a commercial building where there's going to be 6 urinals in a row, you have to figure out the fixture units of those urinals, what size the pipe needs to be. That's where it gets more like, because Reid here has he took his master's test, hasn't gotten his results back on it yet.
Dang.
But
Last
he
week.
was going through, we were just in the van, and he was reading me the questions and things out of the code book for the commercial part of it. And I was like, oh my God, this is the most confusing shit. Everyone says plumbers are like, oh, shit flows downhill. It can't be that hard. But when you get in that code book and you're reading the commercial code, it is a math equation. It is very hard to figure out versus a 2-bathroom home. You're like, oh, I know this pipe has to be 3-inch. I know this pipe has to be 2-inch. But when you're in a building, a factory with tons of drains and all that,
100 bathrooms.
100
You're trying to
bathrooms.
Figure out what size water main you need to service those 100 bathrooms. You need to count everything.
Yeah, that makes total sense. Yeah, I mean that sounds like it would suck. Like you just literally got to memorize the code. I'm sure it changes all the time too.
Absolutely. I think, I wish I knew more on that, but I think they change it every 5 or so years.
Do you have to retake your test?
Nope.
How do they know that you're up to the new code?
You need to do just the continuing education.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yep. And for us, as plumbers, it's pretty light compared to some of the trades I hear.
Yeah.
You only got to do 16 every 2 years as a licensed guy. Apprentice, you need to do 2 hours a year.
Dang. Yeah, that's not bad at all.
It's not bad, but those days that you got to sit down in the classroom when you're used to go,
Yeah, especially
it
like
feels
someone
like
that
it's-
wasn't a guy that enjoyed school to start with. I can only imagine, but I want to get into the nitty gritty. I know why the people are here, and I don't want to bring you into some flashbacks, some war times, but I can only assume you've run into some pretty nasty stuff in your days of plumbing. Is there anything that kind of hits you as like that? This was the worst day. I can't believe I did this. I
Walk off the job type day.
Yeah,
One of those.
you go home.
every day.
You're just
or-
staring straight at the road, and it's like, why do I even do this?
No radio on the drive home type day.
Have you ever had a situation? And it could be when you guys are together. You guys could have separate stories, but
I
is
know
there
Reid
anything
has
that
one
really
pretty.
sticks
I know
out?
Reid has one pretty good story about a flooded basement.
When I first got my own van, I was pretty new to the company, 2 or 3 months in, 2 years plumbing. I go to this lady's house in the cities. I can't remember where. And I walk in and there's boxes stacked everywhere, just like a hoarder's house. And I'm like, okay. I've always been taught not to judge a book by its cover. So I'm trying not to. And she points me in the direction of in her basement, and she doesn't go first. I go first.
That's already a red flag.
You got to follow the trail through the house.
Yeah, oh, yes. And right when you walk in, you hear birds squawking in cages, and that's another red flag to me.
Birds.
Birds.
Yeah, bird people are weird.
One, cool. I like a good parrot. But more than that, nah. And if you walk in, it smells like urine, pneumonia, cats. I walk in the basement, and there's 2 inches of water and just floating cat turds
Just
everywhere.
stale water.
Yep. And now I'm
Oh.
realizing why she let me go first.
Because it was bad.
It was bad.
Was this a clogged drain, I'm assuming? Or
So this
what?
was a water main, or a water main coming into her basement broke open. There's a leak. And on top of the water main, before I even knew, there was clothes everywhere on top of this water main. And I didn't even know where the water main was at that point because there's so many fucking
Oh
clothes.
God, dude, I'm just getting sick thinking about it.
And at the time I don't have nice boots anymore because they're worn out, but I had nice boots, waterproof boots. I went down there, I treaded in it, and I took one look. I saw the cat shit everywhere where I was going to have to work. And
Floating.
And at that time, my boss he told me, if you're ever in a situation like this, just be respectful and just say you got to go grab a tool. So I said, I got to go grab a tool. I walked out and hit the gas.
And you just left.
I left.
Dude,
Did
you
she call?
have
And
to.
I felt so bad. I really did.
So what? She called you in because the water was
Because the
starting to
main was
build.
broke, yeah.
Yep.
Oh my God! So do you think it'd been sitting for a while, or all the turds were just on the floor and now it broke? So it.
No, the turds have been sitting for a while. They have been.
Oh,
Did you touch one?
man.
Was it hard?
No, I haven't touched those type of turds.
Pulling up? Oh God!
If anyone knows me, they know I don't like cats.
Okay.
I do like cats, just I don't want to own one.
Yeah.
You
Not
definitely don't want to wait around in their shit.
Yeah.
Not for me.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of plumbers say that there's 2 kinds of cats. There's a good cat and there's a live cat.
Yes.
Dude, I hate
No
all
comment.
this cat
Other-
slander. Dude.
we had one job we were at. I was with Reid, and we were repairing a sewer stack. So the main stack where your tub, your lav, your toilet, everything all drains in the main stack.
Shit.
We had to fix that. So everything ends up in this stack. So we cut everything apart, and we specifically told the homeowner, do not use the bathroom. You know, we have everything taken apart down here. And luckily, the toilet was probably 20 feet away from the stack where we were working. And we were just working on the stack, whatever. Another day at work, and then we hear a thunk, like the sound of a toilet flushing. You know what it sounds like. And when it's coming through a 3-inch pipe, it echoes. You hear it.
You hear it hit that 90.
You hear it drop, and then the splash of the water hit that 90. And me and Reid both, it was like a movie scene. We both looked right at each other and locked eyes. And then we were like, "Where's a bucket? Where's a bucket?" We're searching around for a bucket, and we couldn't find a bucket. And we weren't worried about it landing on us because we knew it had 20 feet of run to get to us. So we had probably about 5 to 10 Mississippis before it got to us. And we couldn't find a bucket, so we just backed up, and we were just like, well, here it comes.
Guess we're getting the
comes,
mop
baby.
out.
And we
Wow.
watched it, come out of the pipe, toilet paper, everything just splash on the
they
ground.
straight up went number 2. in
No, it
there.
was a number. It was a girl, so it was a number 1.
Oh, okay.
It was a
But
cute number one.
It was.
They
it was
don't poop.
Girls don't poop, So, but either way, it's gross. We're not worried about the fact of it landing on us. We knew it wasn't going to land on us, but it's the fact of we have to clean that up. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So it happened. We cleaned it up, and then it happened again. About 3
Again.
hours later, she flushed again, and that time,
Did you have to go up and be like, "Hey,
that time
quit
we,
using the toilet"?
that time we
I
had
should
a,
have,
yeah,
but
that time we had a bucket, and we were able to catch it, but. We had a discussion in the van on the way home. We were like, next time we're working on a stack, we're going to go to the toilet and turn the water off to the
Oh,
toilet
yeah,
so
good
this
idea.
doesn't happen again.
the water was off, but we didn't flush the toilet.
Yeah.
So
So,
when the
when
water's off, you get 1 flush per toilet.
Yeah, the tank. Tank has water in it.
Exactly,
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah.
So we're gonna flush it, turn water off.
Yeah.
This is
Problem
actually
solved.
so in my line of work when I do like real estate photography. This is always a big thing with doing like Airbnbs or like vacation homes, or when someone's going to sell it, and you go to take photos of it. this is a very common thing where photographers will use the bathroom, but if they've shut off the water, there's been so many cases of people that's like, I don't know what to do. Like, I can't flush.
Yeah.
Like, if these guys take a dump in this empty toilet,
Yeah.
you got to go get a bucket of water from somewhere to get this thing to
Dump
flush.
it.
So you know
Yeah.
you can do that.
Well, now I know because of this.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that.
Dude, I actually just learned that recently. Shout out Scrat. He taught me it of all people.
I'd imagine he's been in some sticky situations with some empty toilets.
Oh yeah, dude. Especially with him being my old landlord, he'd be fixing my toilet. I do some work on that old girl. I'll
And
tell you
every
that.
time I fucking get a phone call.
God bless.
Dude, that is the thing, and that, I guess that kind of leads into my next question. Like, is it fucking annoying being the only plumber? Now you got TCAV in the mix, but like, I know so many of our friends call you for everything, get you to come in. My dad, and he still brings this up, he had Reid come all the way over to his house to help him fix something, and it took him 5 seconds total. It was something so simple. Like, I guess, fuck all that bullshit. My question is it fucking annoying having people call you all the time?
Not at all. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I love that shit. It makes me feel useful.
That I'm gonna clip that and keep that, because as soon as I buy a house, you're gonna regret the fuck out of that.
No.
night.
Reid, will you come to my inspection, please?
Absolutely.
Be looking at it. Yeah, so cash, this is going to run you about 10 grand.
Do you take financing?
It's yeah.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah, we're supposed to offer that. Yeah. Well, it's just more. I mean, I'm not mad about it. It's another opportunity to make money. So
That,
whatever,
that-
get a side job.
Wait,
out
you
of
have
it,
to pay
know?
your friends? Fuck.
A little bit, maybe 10% on top. You know,
I'll give you a brew.
Give you a couple
All
of
right.
beers, yeah.
case of
Is
beer.
it more annoying to drive somewhere super far to get something that's super easy to do, or somewhere close that you're spending hours and hours and hours on?
super far for something minuscule.
Because
Something
now you're
small.
wasting time.
Wasting time, I feel like, to the customer, whoever it is.
Well, I suppose
probably not.
especially if a big part of your pay is commission, that's a lot less that you're able to get done if
Correct.
you're driving for a long time.
Yep.
Yep. So
I-
a huge thing is, so when we get a service call, when the homeowner calls our office, they have to give a description of what's going on. You know, so they have to say, hey, I'm looking for a water softener quote. My water heater's leaking. My toilet won't flush, or something like that. So if Reid and I have no installs to do and there's nothing to do, sometimes they'll send us on service calls. And we will get a call, and we'll read in the job notes in the description. It says, toilet runs intermediately or something. And Reid and I know it's either a toilet flapper or a fill valve. And both of those aren't expensive fixes, and it'll be 55 minutes away. You know, it'll be a drive away. And I'm on hourly, so it doesn't affect me too much. But Reid is on commission, so right when we see the description, we know it's a toilet flapper and how much it's going to cost. And Reid will be like, fuck, I have to go here for a flapper? I know, like, we know what it's going to be, and it's kind of more of an annoyance, but it's whatever.
That's where you got upsell, bud.
That's where they want you to upsell.
Like, you know what? All the pipes in this house are fucked.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a huge part of it. Is, you know, you gotta keep that conversion rate up. They want you to sell stuff. So
Have you guys had to unclog any nasty drains?
Just toilets. We
Yeah.
have,
Ooh,
we
okay.
have like a little.
At what point is a toilet clogged enough where you gotta call a plumber? It's like, hey, there's
Well, we're
there's
not-
some shit
Well,
going down.
Literally, I don't know what medications, but in my experience, older people take certain medications, and they're just rock hard shits,
Okay.
and they just don't
Yeah.
go down.
Yeah,
They need a
pain
poop
medication.
knife.
Yeah,
Yes.
pain
Yep.
medication. Yeah,
And
like
I don't
they,
know
they
what
won't shit forever.
medication, but I know that to be true. And we have a 6-foot auger. That's all we carry with us, which is a toilet auger. If it's anything past that, we call a drain cleaner in.
A
'Cause,
6-footer.
yep, which is basically the size.
If you're fishing out shit that's deeper than 6 feet,
well,
like,
that's basically the size of the trap in
Okay.
the toilet, and
Yeah.
then probably 2 feet past that.
okay.
So in the main drain at that point, or the toilet drain. If it's past that, we don't deal with it.
Yeah.
It's
Like, hey, you're
something-
gonna have to fish out
yeah.
this rock.
So
turd some other way.
that's a thing. So we were talking about drain cleaners. You know, if we don't really deal with nasty stuff like that. So if Reid and I get a call to a toilet that's not flushing, and it's not too nice of a place, and we know it's a clogged drain,
We take advantage of
we
that.
take advantage. We're like, yeah, we'll get a drain tech out here, and we kind of call it at that because we know what it is.
Damn.
And at that point, it's like, yeah, we can put a toilet in, but it's not going to fix anything. You know,
I
the
love that
drain
they
is
dress
clogged.
it up and call him a drain tech as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
We're all techs.
That's a bad job, and it's so sometimes.
Do they at least get paid well?
I don't know
They have
if
to,
they're good,
dude.
if they're good at
if they're good at selling.
If they're good at
Selling
fishing shit out of
and
the.
getting cross leads.
Yeah, we have a drain tech that.
So we're
makes
also
a
supposed
lot.
to look at the HVAC system and the electrical system. And if we see anything wrong with it, we're supposed to get an electrician out there or an HVAC guy.
What? Oh my God! Imagine this: you're 60 years old. You've been on this pain medication. You haven't shit in 3 weeks. You drop a rock solid turd. It gets stuck 7 feet down the drain. You got to have this drain tech come out, and then they tell you, well, not only is your toilet clogged with this rock hard
Yep.
turd, and you got all these problems, but listen, buddy,
Your
you got to
furnace is
redo
old.
your HVAC. You got to redo your whole electric.
That's what they want us to do. But the initiative behind that is whether you're hourly or commission. If you're at a home, let's say you're just doing a simple water heater install every other day, you know, and you see that the furnace is old, and the homeowner said, yeah, the furnace is kind of wonky, you know, it kicks on every now and then.
That's your cue.
And that's your cue. And if you get an HVAC guy out there to sell furnace, you get a percentage of that.
Oh, because you teed it up.
Cross lead,
Oh,
whether
yep.
you are hourly or commission based.
Oh my
so
God.
that's where that's where the salesmen get really cutthroat.
Someone's listening to this like, that motherfucker. I just got a new water heater and they
No,
done
a
fucking
lot
made
of
me.
people are, and I get it. That's not. I don't believe that's us.
None of that is
No.
cheap, is
And-
really what it comes down to.
and-
There's nothing in that whole realm that's cheap.
No, and if you like you said about the drain cleaners making money, like a drain cleaner that just cleans drains isn't going to make a lot of money. But if you're good at talking, we have a drain cleaner and he makes
Oh.
well into 6 figures, and it's just because
He
is
gives so much other cross
he's just
leads.
good at talking. You know, he's just good at. I know his furnace is old, so even if you're not a good plumber and you're not a good drain cleaner, you can still make well into 6 figures.
That's
can.
kind of a cool business model, though.
Yeah.
And I do want to say that there's a difference between the snakes out there,
Yeah.
and making.
Oh, it's
good
just like
6
any
figures.
industry.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
If you're actually looking out for them, there's a big difference between that and just setting up a lead.
Yeah, totally. Because there is times when you go into someone's house, it's like, okay, this is genuinely messed up. Like, I
Yep.
would get this
Exactly.
checked
You're
out.
right.
100%.
Yep.
Like, you might not be thinking about it now, but it's worth having someone at least look at
And
it.
I feel like at our company, the people above us weed those people out pretty quick.
They do. Yeah, they do. They weed out the con men pretty well.
yeah, because that's
Yep.
just.
sometimes there's a couple that might get a little job that might not be done, but it's not super often.
It's a tough game because you want good salesmen, but you don't want the bad reputation that a con
Exactly.
salesman
It's a
gives
fine line.
But at that point, you do have to see where it sounds bad, but you do have to see where they're coming from as well. Like a salesman might have, a wife and
Daddy
two-
wants a new side by side.
and two newborn at home, and they need to
They need the
pay
money.
their bills, and they see water heater that's 12 years old. It works fine, but they know that they got to make the payment and they got to buy diapers that week, so they might kind of push that a little more.
Yeah, but I could see there's also a realm.
That's
It's like
where-
might not be replaced right now, but it will need to be replaced at some point.
That's
Yeah.
See,
how I
he's a
kinda
car
feel.
salesman. Don't trust this motherfucker.
Yeah.
He's played these fucking games.
That's
You
how I
just
kind of
gotta-
feel commission or percentage based salaries.
Yeah, that's where it gets
Wreck.
tricky. It's all perception.
It can
Yeah.
it
It
can
really
wreck a
is.
person real quick.
Oh, I believe it.
Oh, dude, I deal with it all the time, even just with simple masonry bids where it's like they brought me in for their chimney, but I noticed the facade had some issues.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Yep.
And you're gonna take that because it has an issue, but there are salesmen that it doesn't have an issue, and they're
And they'll
like,
sell it.
"This is fucked."
Yeah. Yeah.
and they try to sell.
Yeah.
it.
Well,
And-
right before we started, I told you guys about my water softener conundrum. I had someone come out and just look at my water softener.
Got
And
raped.
it was, I knew it was a simple thing. It was just one little thing that wasn't letting it regenerate. But they were basically telling me I needed a whole new water softener. I was like, well, I mean, you're quoting me 10 times what it would cost for me to go get one from Menards and just do it myself.
Yeah. So
You
that
know?
Oh, that's our biggest rebuttal,
yeah.
which I sort of agree with. You totally can, but
Yeah, I mean, for what I need it for, I
They're
could
fucking
just
junk.
get a. Oh, I bet they are.
What?
But I mean, I'm not running that much through it.
So the only thing that helps my conscience in that is I think Reid feels the same way, is if we go to a home and one specific item like on the water heater is broken and we can fix that item for $300, we'll write a quote to fix that item for $300. But we will also write a quote to replace the water heater,
Because-
along with it. So
Yeah.
we'll say, hey, we can fix it and it might get some more time out of it, but we can just put a new one in too. It's up to you. To where the salesman side of it is more of push that new one
Push.
instead of fixing what's wrong with it.
Yeah, right.
for me and you, we're happy
Yeah,
just
and if
servicing
they
the customer what they want.
and
but
if they go with that new water heater, sure, but we don't feel
we're
guilty.
ecstatic at that point.
Yeah, but we don't feel guilty because
Yo.
we weren't like, this shit's fucked. You need a new one now.
So
Yep.
this question kind of leads into this topic. I was wondering, do you guys ever have heartbreakers where like you realize
old people.
this their shit's fucked? They made it pretty clear they don't have the money to do it, and you're just sitting there like, oh my god, I want to do it for free. Like
yeah,
where it
that
just
does happen.
it just kills you, and that must be a tough part of the industry.
And that is, and that's what's driving me and probably you to opening our own shit here eventually. That's the number one factor,
Yeah,
I would say.
because I don't know.
Or
You do have
top
to
5
make
at
money,
least.
and there is a difference between like I know old guy plumbers that don't make any money because something will be broken and they'll have a 30-cent washer in their tool bin and they know that's going to fix it and they do it and they make their $80 and they go out to lunch. So there is a fine line between like being stupid and like
Yep.
not making any money, but
Yeah.
you do have to make money at a certain point. So that's where that fine line kind of goes back and forth. You guys know what I mean.
So with
Like,
some of these snaky salesmen that you guys have seen in your time that you've been in the industry, what's the biggest ticket that you've seen someone write up, dollar amount wise?
We
we
just
did one for what 45 or something.
wasn't
like
snaky.
that?
They actually needed it, but the biggest ticket was 46,000.
Yeah.
Dude,
Damn.
that is insane. All right, now,
That's
this-
not insane when
Do
you
they
think about
finance that?
plumbing.
Yeah,
are they
we do offer
financing
financing.
$45,000?
I can't remember if
or are
they
they paying
did.
I
cash
think
for
they
that?
did. They financed it. Yeah.
But most of the repipes we do, like whole house repipes, draining the waters, most of the time they finance it.
But sometimes that story, the saying, don't judge a book by its cover is definitely true.
Oh, yeah.
Amen.
Like we went to a home
You
where
can't.
we repiped the water for the house. It was an old well. So the well was, tons of iron. They had no softener. So there was literally a needle hole.
Oh, that's
through-
a good story.
There was a needle hole through the water line. So they had like no water pressure. It was a farmer that owned the home and he built it himself. He plumbed it himself. He did everything himself. And
And you could
we've
tell.
seen some hack plumbing jobs. And to be honest, it wasn't that bad.
No,
Like the guy did, for not being a plumber, he did a pretty decent job.
damn good job.
But there was 50 cats outside, litter boxes everywhere.
Just a farm.
It was a farm, and it looked like they barely got by. So this lady, it was like a $40,000 ticket, and her husband was away. He was in Arizona, and she was like, I didn't tell him about this. I'm just going to do it. All new faucets, all new water. And me and Reid are like,
Big
they're gonna
mistake, ladies.
They're going to get divorced when he comes home. This is a big deal.
And
So
this is this was his work. Like
yes,
he
this was
put
his
so
work.
much blood,
so
sweat, and
we do
tears.
all this work, and it looked really good. Me and Reid worked super hard. It looked beautiful, and we were done and all that. And she was really happy with us. And she financed it just like anyone would. It's $40,000. Whether
Yeah.
you're rich or not, you're gonna finance that. Period.
Especially 0% financing.
Yeah, especially at 0%
If it's
financing.
0%, borrow the money from
So-
someone else.
So, anyways, we get the job done, and then the woman goes to pay on our financing app, and she goes to type in her yearly income, and honest to God, I would say they made $40,000 a year. Like I would say they made it by, and that was it.
Insane.
Concrete floors, not a nice place. $6 million a year is what they made, and it was
Damn.
like never in a million years would I ever think that they made that much money.
But that's the thing. The people that live modestly are usually the people that got it like that.
Yeah,
Yep.
and she said we own tons of rental properties in Arizona and Texas and all this. I was like,
Yeah, little do we
"Jeez,"
know.
But yeah, and everything in that, like I said, it was a farmhouse. It was as farmhouse as a farmhouse can be.
Oh, wow. That's crazy. $6 million, you got
It
cats
taught
running
me a
everywhere.
lesson right then and there, honestly.
Yeah, it definitely. I couldn't believe it.
A
It took
second
me-
lesson
yeah.
for don't judge a book by its cover.
Oh, 100%. Actually, when I sold cars, it was a very similar situation happened right when I first started. There was this guy that walked in. I mean, the guy could have been homeless, stained up clothes. He comes in. I would assume maybe a farmer, whatever, blue collar dude. Everyone basically was like, "Oh, I'm not taking this guy." You see him walking around on the lot. I'm not taking this guy. Someone's like, "All right, I'll go out and help him." He ends up buying like 3 cars,
I've seen
paid cash.
all
Yeah.
videos just
was
like
like,
that.
boom,
It's
like,
like what
yeah.
you're saying.
I want this one, this one, this one. This is for me. This is for my wife. This is for my daughter. Whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, yeah,
And
done.
the other
Here's 3
salesman
cars.
probably like, shit.
Yeah, they're like, damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I learned a brutal lesson that day. Like from that like first week that I was there, I was like, all right, yeah, I'm you as much as you think you can tell how someone has it, you definitely cannot.
You
You
can't.
definitely cannot.
Absolutely not. I
But- and
learned
then
that
on
from
the-
a young age too.
On the
though.
flip side, I would imagine you guys probably go into a lot of really nice houses, and these people don't
Can't get
have a pot
approved
to
for
piss in.
financing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right, because they're leveraged to the max. Like they
Yeah.
have all of their money wrapped up in a bank.
They
have,
can't get approved for $7,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had that before.
right. When you're like, dude, you live in a
It's
$500,000 house.
Yeah. And
How
then-
can you not?
They put all their
finance?
money towards that. And
Oh,
that's
it's
that.
a very, very real thing.
Oh, yeah.
Because I can't tell you how many times, again, when I sold cars, this guy would come in a loaded up truck, brand new thing would probably
wearing a
be
gold
70 grand.
chain and yeah.
Dude can't get approved for a new one. You're
Yeah.
like, oh, sorry, buddy. You're keeping this thing, I guess.
Yeah.
That is nothing. Anyone can get in debt.
Yeah.
Shout out Dean, for sure.
Shout out Dean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just have to point out that I want to thank plumbers for guys like you, because I just had the ability to go take an amazing piss in indoor plumbing, and you should thank a plumber every day. For those of you that are listening, thank a plumber.
Well, I appreciate that, but I also want to say I don't know who you rent this from, but you got a couple issues in that toilet that definitely
Faucets
Write us up a
dripping.
ticket. We'll give it to the
definitely
landlord.
need to be looked at.
Dude, so that's one thing with selling brick. Everywhere I go, I'm like, oh, that chimney needs to be replaced. When you go into places, do you break things down in your head? Like, oh, that water softener's fucked.
Oh yeah.
Yes, and we're actually required to test the water
No matter what.
no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
So we test the water for hardness, chlorine, iron if you're on a well, stuff like that. So we're required to do that in every household that we enter in. And a lot of times the softener's not working or they need a softener, but at what point do you offer this? And
It's hard to
that?
bring that up when you're there to fix the kitchen sink.
Yeah,
Right.
You're there
Because
you're
they're like,
there-
hey, listen, I
Yeah.
didn't call you for that.
Yeah.
I don't care about that.
And some people go for it, and some people are like, "Why the fuck are you in my mechanical room? You're here to fix my kitchen
Yeah.
sink. What are you doing down here?"
Do you have to explain? Hey, listen, I have to.
So
run through
sometimes that happens. In a bad case, we're told we're not supposed to say this is my job. This is what I have to do.
this. Yeah.
But in some cases, if a homeowner is mad, and they're not on your vibe,
Yeah.
sometimes once in a while you got to play the card. Listen, I'm just here to do my job.
What would the Zilla app say if you said?
Oh, the Zilla app
It would
be
say,
mad.
fire this guy right now.
Yeah.
So on your guys' day-to-day, is there like a certain menial task that you find yourself doing a lot that you just fucking hate? Whether it's replacing a water heater or what it is.
That's
like,
gravy. I mean, Reid.
So we're installers, as he said earlier. Everything as an installer, I love. I want to be an installer. I don't like the sales aspect of it. What would you say?
I would say the shitty part about
I would say tune-ups, which is another discussion. But
if you're not a salesman, tune-ups suck.
tune-ups suck. So we sell memberships. A lot of big companies do.
Like a monthly subscription?
Yep, you
Correct.
won't
Come out and
find,
check on your stuff.
you won't find that stuff around here unless it's Connecticut or
Yeah.
whatever. But
It's rich people stuff.
not even rich people. It's just it's city stuff, which is fine. I agree with those. But we have to write up everything that we find wrong in the house. A simple shut-off valve, it turns a little bit, but it's hard.
Like it works, but it's hard to turn. We're supposed to write it up.
Put it
Yeah,
on
okay.
the put it on the quote.
It's genius from the company's standpoint because this is the way you pick up on the small
Absolutely.
stuff.
Absolutely.
And this is how they sell the
Correct.
jobs. I mean,
Yeah.
that's got to be a massive source of leads.
So
is these
yeah.
monthly subscriptions.
Absolutely. That we have 8,000 subscriptions
Oh my god!
between the tri-brand, electric, HVAC, and plumbing.
Wow,
8,000, and the cheapest is for
12
just plumbing is $12.
$12 a month. Yeah.
So if you get all
that's actually not bad. And someone comes
And
out every
some-
single month and checks
every
on it.
year.
Every
once a year
So
they
the
come out and
thing
check on
about
it.
the
Okay.
the I don't 100% disagree with the subscription thing
At all.
because you get 10% off installs and 20% off service work. So if you're gonna even get something as simple as a new water heater,
That pays for itself pretty
it
damn
does
quick.
pay for itself immediately.
Yep.
And everything is your kitchen drain plugs up. You can get it cleaned for 20% off,
Well,
Yeah,
I
or
get-
something. So it does kind of pay for itself, but you have to expect once a year a plumber is going to come to your house and try to sell you $15,000 worth of things.
Yeah.
So
Do you find plumbing being similar to masonry? Whereas, like, if somebody's, let's talk brick for a second.
yeah, I'm down.
If somebody's
He's
top
bricked up
3
over here.
courses
Oh, I'm bricked right now.
are fucked up, and their crown's cracked,
And
we
that's a
know
gravy.
water's working its way down there, the rest of the chimney will be fucked sooner
Yeah.
than later at this point.
And that's what helped him switching from masonry to plumbing.
So you understand the concept.
He understood
of, like,
it already.
It's bad right now,
But it's going to get worse.
and it's going to get worse quickly. And so, like, almost with this membership, having someone checking one time a year, it could save you some
It could.
serious fucking
It could.
problems.
Like a huge. So to go eye to eye with the masonry world, how you see an old Chicago chimney with a cracked crown, that's a moneymaker.
Oh yeah.
You're good at selling that. You've done
Oh,
it
yeah.
100 times. But so to a plumber standpoint, it would be Reid and I just had this last week. We went to a homeowner and her water heater was leaking after 4 years. Now, the only thing that's going to make that water heater leak after 4 years is hard water. So she did have a water softener, but it wasn't working. So the hardness of the water deteriorates the softener and it will make it leak prematurely. So she wasn't having any of our shit. She wasn't happy with us because we were trying to sell her a softener because her water heater was going bad. She's like, "Why do I need a softener? My water heater is going bad." And we were like, "Well, it's because it's not working and the water is hard." She didn't want to grasp that concept, but that would be the same thing. Like, if you have hard water, it's hard on your faucets, it's hard on your water heater, it's hard on your shower, it's hard on everything in the home.
Yep.
So if a softener isn't working and you want to save the life of everything that has water touching it in your entire home,
Including you.
including
Kids.
you and your skin and everything, a softener is the answer to that. So to answer your question, that's like the 3-course old Chicago chimney rebuild is a
Yo.
water softener that's not working.
You can display them the big picture of
Yeah.
what the
So like
inevitable.
what I did to her is the union that attaches to the water heater, it was all rusty and it was only 3 years old and it looked like it was 50 years old because the softener wasn't working. And I showed her, I took the part off and I was like, "Look, this is 3 years old and it looks like it's destroyed. It's because your softener's not working." Now, most customers, this is going to work because they're more understanding. She wasn't having any of our shit. So she was like, yeah, whatever.
Should
But
say what phrase or-
in the Kanye words, she was Jewish. She was Jewish. But so
I said it. It's done.
I said it, but yeah, she wasn't having any of our stuff. But 9 times out of 10,
She was busy rubbing her
yeah,
pennies.
9 times out of 10, that's your golden ticket in a way.
Damn. Yeah,
I forgot about that already.
This
That
has
was-
opened my eyes up.
I've-
I never saw plumbing like this, to be honest.
I have
with you.
learned so much. One thing that I'm really curious about, and I hope this helps other people because it's going to help me. Do you have a tip that you can give the listeners? Something that everyone should know that the average man doesn't, that can make their lives a little easier. Just something you should, if you're listening to this podcast, you're going to walk away with something that might help you for the rest of your life.
I would say number 1, know where your main shut off is and how
Make
to
sure
use
it works,
Make sure
too.
it works. Number 2, or for me at least, hardness in the water. What's in your water? What's in your water determines how long your plumbing in your home is going to last.
Yeah. So like a
Down to
great
your faucets, water piping, water heater, it determines a lot.
So, like, if your water's really bad, you should get a very high-end filtration device.
Absolutely.
Of some sort.
It doesn't even have to be high end. Just
Yeah.
something.
Just so like here's an example. Let's say you own a home, you live there for 10 years, everything works great. No problem. You shower every day, look at the shower head, it's fine. And then let's say a year goes by and you start noticing a bunch of white crusty stuff, on your shower head, like where the water comes out. That's a sign that your water softener is not working. Because that white crusty stuff is calcium and it's
My entire
hardness in the
shower
water.
head is literally white.
Yeah, so that means you have hard water.
Tell Scrat to get on that.
You have
That's what I'm saying.
you have
and you know
hard-
2 guys.
Yeah, you have hard water and your softener isn't working. And like I said before, that's hard on everything that water touches, including you and your entire house.
Even
So
your
that's a tip.
soap. Did you guys know that if you have a water softener, you will use half the soap you use currently?
Really?
It won't sud up. Yeah, if you have really hard water and you're
It
rubbing the
takes a
soap
lot
on you,
more to sud up.
it'll take twice as much soap to sud up on your body.
Spoken like a salesman. I like it.
Yeah.
See, that's the stuff I don't buy because that's facts.
Yeah.
Dude, seriously, though, like,
It'll just dry your skin out.
yeah,
Hard water.
So where I grew up, my parents have no water softener, and they have the best water I've ever drank. in
And they're
my
on a
entire
well,
life.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's amazing water. They
You
do
come across that
nothing
every once in
for
a
it.
while.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Dude, then I lived at my grandparents'. They have a full system. The hardest water I've ever dealt with. It's like a whole different substance that you're dealing
Yeah.
with.
Uh-huh.
And now where I live right now, it's about right in the middle. So,
So
I've seen all the spectrum.
Every city is different. Here in Pine City, we have horseshit water.
Yeah.
Our
Horse
water.
shit.
So
Brewing,
a
baby.
little
Including PFAS.
yeah, including PFAS. And a little example is so anything over
What's
what is
PFAS?
Forever chemicals.
forever chemicals.
Oh.
Yeah.
You've heard
So
of them, right?
Yep.
You've heard, yeah.
so like hardness in your water. What is it? Anything over is it 4 or 7 grains hard? They
Anything over 3. They
anything
consider
over
hard.
3 they say you should have a softener for. Anything over 11 grains hard is considered extreme
That's
That's
hardness.
Flint water.
Pine City has 25 grains hard water.
Holy fuck.
I'd
Our
rather
water
have lead
is
than PFAS.
horrible.
That's the shit you're drinking over at Nichols, dude.
Yeah.
And,
So
and he's right by the water tower.
yeah, my water
One of 'em.
so the shutoff valves in my apartment, I lived at my apartment for a year and they're already seized. They don't move. So if a leak were to happen, I can't shut my water off because the water is so hard. They already seized everything up.
Whoa.
So
What
depending
did you
on
say
what
was that? 20-something?
25. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So depending
nuts.
on where you live, like I know Minneapolis has pre-treated water. So by the time the water enters your home, it's usually like 4 grains hard. It's pretty good. But if you live in like Brooklyn Park, they have really hard water. Or every city, every water tower has a different water
Do you
like
guys?
hardness.
Do you
I
have
love hearing this guy talk.
Because, dude, you're like the Jedi Master.
God, it make me so proud over
Young
here.
Padawan.
I'm literally about to tear up. This is amazing.
Do you
God.
guys? Do you? Oh my god, dude! I totally forgot my question. I pulled a Cody, dude.
It's
oh
probably
my
from
god.
that PFAS
Had
in
it,
the
then you
water.
lost it.
I'm fucking dying.
It's
dude.
all those microplastics.
It
I
is.
remember. Do you guys have any opinion on fluoride in the water? Does
That's
that
the
affect
PFAS.
anything?
I don't know much about it. I just know no fluoride in the water is
That's what
best.
Bobby Kennedy said, and I'll believe it till I die.
Go Bobby Kennedy. No. Yeah, like I said, I don't have much opinion. I just know no fluoride is better.
Fuck fluoride.
Fuck fluoride.
Lowers that T, dude.
Now, one
It
question
does.
we
Does it?
always
It does.
I
ask.
did not. Okay, I'm gonna add that one to
I
that.
can't-
Yes,
afford-
I just heard this recently actually, and Taylor and I got into a big argument over this because she talks to the doctors at her work, and they
Yeah.
say fluoride is
Where does she
perfectly
work?
fine. Well, I'm not going to say it, but she works at a hospital, actually at a clinic that's attached to a hospital.
What's that called?
So, anyways, she was saying that they're saying the fluoride perfectly fine, perfectly normal. They recommend that you have a certain amount of fluoride because it prevents cavities in your mouth, and dental health outweighs the health benefits or the health disadvantages that you get from consuming it. But I'd heard back in the day when fluoride first was introduced into the water supply, it was actually a byproduct of aluminum manufacturing, and they were trying to figure out like what the hell do we do with all this stuff. And then they figured out, like, oh, it prevents cavities.
Oh,
Let's
they
put it
found
in
money.
the water.
They found a way to make money off of it.
Pretty much.
Makes sense.
Pretty
now.
much. pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to deny, dude. Everything's about getting that buck, baby.
Heard that. But hey, we got good teeth now.
I don't, dude. I got.
Did you grow up on fluoride, city water?
No, I've always lived
Does
on
Pine-
well.
I don't even think Pine City has fluoride in their water.
I'm sure they do.
Do they? I don't even know.
I don't even know.
We got that.
We got to
hard
talk to a
fucking
smarter
water.
guy.
You
Where's
were-
TCAV went to the bathroom.
You grew up on that well, though.
Yeah, dude. The iron in the well that I grew up on was crazy, though.
Sip
it
that down.
smelled like blood. Like it's.
Oh.
It's. I mean, there's so much iron.
Like
in this
you have
water.
the orange bathtub. You
Oh
grew
yeah.
up with
Oh, yeah.
that.
Yes. Yeah. Like the bathtub was white at
You
some
ever
point,
sucked
but
that
it's
from
orange.
a garden hose?
Oh yeah, but there's nothing more refreshing on an 80-degree day than ice
That's
cold iron water.
So good.
Dude, I slammed hose water. Especially before it was like a meme thing. Like that was something I could really relate to once I
Yeah.
got older and saw it on social media because that was one of my favorite things in the world was turning that little bitch on and fucking slurping her up, dude.
Yeah.
Imagine how much nasty shit that picks up coming through that hose after it's been sitting there for weeks.
And what is
months.
that hose made out of?
Yeah, right.
PFAS?
Yeah,
Plastic.
you're just drinking microplastics.
Everything's made with forever chemicals.
Yeah, that's gonna be our generation's asbestos. I think
Absolutely.
it's gonna be plastics. Like we've put plastics in everything.
I think our generation is dealing with everything.
Yeah,
I feel like
we got the
TV
asbestos.
dinners
We got the
got us.
lead. We got the plastics.
Don't touch those paper
that's
receipts,
why we
dude.
need RFK, baby.
Boys, I think that's a good place to wrap this thing up. Is there anything
Dude,
that you guys want to
hell
add?
of a time. Thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah,
Thank you very much for having us.
Is there anything you want to add before we dip out of here?
If you need any work done, you can hit up me or Reid. We'll put a heater in your house, softener.
Absolutely.
Doesn't matter. We'll be there. Have a case of beer for us.
Hell yeah, and they won't even show any crack if you don't want them to.
So one thing before we go, I know that you guys don't work directly with a lot of different trades, but is there a trade you want to call out to just say fuck you to them?
Fuck you, electric.
Oh, end it on this.
You
Electricians
fucking
are pussies.
Oh, hell yeah,
HVAC, you
boys.
are too. But
HVAC is nerds and electricians are pussies. We can end it on
All right,
that.
now we got to get an electrician on.
Fucking right.
no, don't do that.
We'll see you later.